What you know you can't explain. But you feel it. You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong. You don't know what it is, but it's there. Like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. Experience the awakening. Brilliant anonymous researchers. Patriots, join us in the Patriot Army. Trust the plan, pain coming. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. RedStateTalkRadio.com, Brighteon.tv, Rumble.com/MG Show. The end won't be for everyone. That choice to know will be yours. Where we go one, we go all. Fight, 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 and fight we will. We fight every day right here on the MG Show.
Oh my gosh. Good morning, everybody. Wow, Shady, come on in here. And there's nothing to report on. I mean, we leave for Friday. We had a nice, calm weekend. No big news. Nothing happened, Shady. I mean, what are we going to talk about? Should we just wrap up now?
Well, yeah, we could wrap up real quick. I have one suggestion. I mean, yeah. we can have a good discussion about like daylight savings time. I'm thinking that there's not going to be daylight savings time anymore. Like after this year, we just went through yesterday was the longest daylight hours of the year, and just wanted to remind everybody of that, and thought we would talk about it because, we really need to keep the daylight savings time. I think this whole flipping back and forth. So maybe I thought we could generate a good, robust discussion about that today, sir.
Yep. Texas Patriot JB says, oh, my God. So there has been a flurry of activity since we left on Friday. We bombed Iran, just like Q predicted. Now, people have to realize that we did not enter a war, everybody. We ended one, Shady.
We ended the threat of it, my friends. This is the key component to everything that you're not seeing your people that you read their opinions on social media say, because they don't know real history, sir. But because they don't know real history, they don't understand what's going on. And a lot of people in America, and this is just the truth, before 2017 knew the truth. A lot of people knew that Iran was a controlled state, that Iran had supplied the access with oil during World War I and World War II. And without Iran's supply of oil, those events could not have happened because America wouldn't have been able to over the top just hand over oil to the Germans as we sent over oil and troops to fight the Germans. They needed another supply of oil. Donald Trump and all of you and all of these people that have come here for this conversation and in this administration, most historic administration, I think have come to end the threat against the world so that we can live in peace through strength for everyone, Jeff. A rising tide lifts all boats, and these people were the anchor.
Absolutely. And, I'd really quick, just, we've had a lot of bogus Q proofs, Shady Groove, and I want to go through a Q proof real quick before we get into the events, because I think we all need to take a minute and thank General Dan Raisin Kane, as he is now Trump's favorite general. He should be now known as the people's general. Trump has repeatedly credited General Kane playing a key role in the defeat of the ISIS caliphate. He was confirmed in the Senate on the for the chairman of Joint Chiefs of Staff, but he received that promotion prior to the vote. He was a 3-star Lieutenant General Dan Raisin Kane, okay, and he was promoted to a 4-star on April 11th, 2025. So he is the first person on the Joint Chiefs of Staff to have not previously held a 4-star rank. So this is basically a Q proof. This is 6/24. This is in 2 days. What's the date today? The 20th. It's tomorrow. Okay. Soon 3 stars. Okay. Now he's a 4-star. But if you look at the what President Trump says about him, remember all the Raisin Kane story, Shady Grove, that he told?
I do.
All right, let's listen to this very closely.
I'm standing on the top and I look down and there's these handsome people. Everybody's like from a movie set. Good looking guys. I get down the stairs and, what's your name? My name is Kane, sir. What's your first name? They call me Raisin. I say, wait a minute, your name is Raisin Kane? I love you. I've been looking for you for 5 years. You are the great. This is what I want.
This is what I want. I've been looking for you for 5 years. And we've been like heroizing somebody that he fired in 23 days. Guys, please, we need to stop and just take him and thank everybody in the Trump administration that did not leak. Shady Grove, one of the biggest things is no leaks. But let me before you comment on that, because I went ahead of myself. But we've got this post right here, okay? This is a post, U.S. taxpayers paying for it all, Paris Accord scam trillions, Red Cross scam billions, foreign aid scam trillions, war scam trillions, on and on and on. Who audits where the money goes? Who actually receives the money? The U.S. taxpayers funding the very people who are engaged in taking down slush funds everywhere. Do you think George Soros pays for Antifa out of his own pocket? The hole is deep. Feel sick yet? So this is a Trump post 2 days ahead of schedule, okay? This was 2 days before that. So June 22nd to June 24th is 2 days, okay? Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth and Chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff General Dan Kane holds a press conference, okay? That is the people's general. Shady.
Wow. To see, okay, to sum up very quickly something that's really huge, competence, ladies and gentlemen. This is what you needed to see. None of you, and I know this because I've been alive. None of you have witnessed competence. None of you was what happened in Vietnam. Was that competence? Were we being thrown as Americans into an impossible situation, trying to force us to accomplish something that could never be accomplished? There was no matter what in the world you were to do. There was no way that anybody was going to be able to defeat that situation with some sort of weird police action and the military actually not being able to fight in Vietnam. It was a contrived event. It was a controlled event. Vietnam was an event so that we would shove our men and women through the meat grinder and further deteriorate the strength of the American. Okay, what's been under assault is the strength of your country and the resolve of your people. And the strongest people will sign up and go die to protect their country. And the system, the globalist system, knows that, and that's what they've been doing. But then what we see is whenever they go out there to die for our country, we see blatant, arrogant incompetence, unbelievable incompetence that we've been witnessing throughout. And you talk about the old generals, the McChrystal generals, the Flynn generals, incompetence. Everything was incompetent. Nothing could be accomplished.
Millie.
Millie, yes, every single one of them. Think about the helicopter crash, trying to rescue Obama, trying to kill Osama bin Laden. Rescue Obama, trying to kill Osama bin Laden.
Same thing.
Or the helicopter crashes in Tehran whenever the Carter administration.
So, Shady, do you think not telling that Russia called is incompetence? If you don't tell the president that Russia called, and then meet with the FBI in secret without the lawyers being there, is that incompetence?
That's literally the next thing I was going to say. Thank you so much for filling that in. I didn't hold up a cue card. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Your whole country has been awash in incompetence. And today, ladies and gentlemen, on the MG Show, we're going to be presenting something that's very, very new. Jeff said something that was very key. No leaks. What does that mean? Who's been the leaker? How does you make success? How does the enemy not know you're coming? Who uses their networks in the military industrial complex to communicate back to people that things are coming that didn't happen this time? You're seeing competence on a level that you have never seen, my friends. And this is what you voted for. And all of the hangers on, Jeff, that we're going to talk about a little bit, but you're also going to show you competence, because you're going to see what it was that happened over the weekend, and you're going to realize this is not World War III. This is not boots on the ground. This is not even war. What this is the removal of a threat from society so that society can progress forward.
Yes, Osama bin Laden is a real person. His name was Timothy. What was his real name, Shady? Timothy Osman, right. He is a CIA asset, run by Zbigniew Brzezinski.
He was trained to infiltrate and run operations against the Russians in Afghanistan in the early 1980s, whenever Russia was trying to occupy Afghanistan.
Yeah. So this show, everybody's like, you're wrong. No, we haven't been wrong. We said that we're not going to war with Iran. Are we in a war with Iran? No. Our B-2 bombers are safe back at home. You know, the B-2 stealth bombers that dropped the massive ordnance penetrator, Shady? Do you remember those, guys?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Those B-2 bombers are part of the 509th bomb wing, right? Mm-hmm. We were never told about that, were we?
I don't know. Were we?
Well, let's just look at this. So, I went over to this post. It's post 4720. If you guys can see it, here you go. 4720. You click this link. I'm going to show you what happens. Okay, this is 9/21/2020. Okay, so here it is. There's the link. I'm gonna click it. I'm just showing you. Okay. Oh, a B-2 stealth bomber drops massive ordnance penetrator. Amazing footage of a B-2 stealth bomber dropping massive ordnance penetrator. Video by the 509th Bombing Wing Public Affairs. Look at that, guys. Wow. Amazing. So what does that mean? We've never dropped a mop on anybody, Shady, until this weekend. Okay?
Yep.
This means Iran will not have nukes. Okay? This will help ensure that Iran doesn't have nukes, Shady.
Okay. And so now I want to clarify something very specific. Whenever we talk about this, this is not easy stuff. Whenever you're explaining things, we've been talking about.
Oh, why'd you go away from it? Shady can talk over the video.
Yeah, he can talk over it. Yeah, what we're talking about is a threat. Okay, we're talking about a threat is Iran. Does Iran have a nuclear weapon? Does Iran have a nuclear weapon? Donald Trump says we're not going to allow them to have a nuclear weapon. So all the people out there in the Alex Jones place telling you that Iran's going to utilize their nuclear weapon now that this has happened, they are liars and they are wrong, because they do not have a nuclear weapon. Use your logic. Navigate through this. Number two, the next thing to understand. How do we know that we're not going to be in a war? Because we understand who Iran is and who they are controlled by. They are not really an independent state. They do not really have the power to fight with an army. They do not really have that ability. It's all pretend. It's a threat. North Korea, Q came to explain to you. The reason Q came to communicate to you through the back channel was twofold. One, to explain to you North Korea was not a real threat, that it was a boogeyman state propped up by the people that run Google, Clinton, Bill Richardson, and a number of other people that we've got pinned down over there in North Korea. Well, the uranium that North Korea was using went through Iran to get to North Korea. You don't think Iran took a little cut. So we do know that Iran has uranium to enrich. So they can use...
Where did they get that uranium?
From Rosatom through Hillary Clinton through Canada, straight from America. That's where it came from.
And you're laying it out perfectly, because I want to make sure that people understand that this is all connected. Go ahead.
Correct. Exactly right. Because we have to understand that it's connected, because we know that they have uranium. We know they have uranium. So they can utilize that as a threat to say, oh, look, we or Iran are enriching that uranium. We threaten the world with that. We say, okay, generate news. What does that mean? Iran's going to have a nuclear weapon within 2 weeks. They're trying to impugn and trap the president with these narratives. So how do you stop them from doing that? We're going to show you today.
Yeah, we're going to show you today. And I think your president showed you guys big time. And, you know, I want to, let's just start off with, President Trump. So, and by the way, I sent you that post about the Iran before, that post 47. Can't remember the name, which one it was, but I sent you that post before the bombing of Iran, guys.
Before it was announced. Yes, yeah. Because I wasn't at my phone. I was working here at the house. I go back to the phone and all this stuff is happening. And I see like the first post is like you had sent me that before there even news had even broke. that this was getting ready to happen because we have an understanding of the clowns and we are game theorying this out. We're not predicting the future. We're gaming this out in our minds, thinking, if these things are true, how does this all play out? If General Flynn is really this incompetent, will he be brought on for the second administration? We said to ourselves over 2 years ago, were we right or were we right?
We were right.
Yes.
But we were wrong according to everybody else. But now, so let's because that guy lost this weekend big time, okay, guys? And everybody knows it. He's getting ratioed in his comments. Well done, everybody. Now, let's go to President Donald J. Trump talking at the White House. This happened at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday, Shady. Wow. Here we go.
Thank you very much. A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime, Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier. For 40 years, Iran has been saying death to America, death to Israel. They have been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by their general, Qasem Soleimani. I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen. It will not continue. I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before. And we've gone a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel. I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job they've done. And most importantly, I want to congratulate the great American patriots who flew those magnificent machines tonight and all of the United States military on an operation the likes of which the world has not seen in many, many decades. Hopefully, we will no longer need their services in this capacity. I hope that's so. I also want to congratulate the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raisin Kane, spectacular general, and all of the brilliant military minds involved in this attack. With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight, not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago. Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say, we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them. God bless the Middle East. God bless Israel, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I mean, he almost cried there. And then he just reassured him. So the mainstream media is saying, look at J.D. Vance. He doesn't agree with Trump. No, it's serious stuff. And he was displaying the proper etiquette to your president of the United States of America by looking at him with a very serious tone. This is not a game. And, I see the mainstream media going after Vance saying, oh, look, he doesn't agree with the president. Stop it. Stop, mainstream media. You guys are done. We are the news now. Shady Group.
They need that. They need that agitation. They need that aggravation. They don't have anything. This is why they've written all these articles. They don't really want to. They don't really want you to notice that there was no leak.
Yeah.
They don't want you to notice that, like, okay, so what happened, mainstream Washington, this was one of the biggest operations ever in the history of America, and nobody in DC knew. As you listen to the next piece that we play here in a minute about because we're going to bring you that press conference, because that was one of the most competent things I have ever seen. I'm watching Pete Hegseth, and I'm seeing this transition that he's made from being a Fox News person. Obviously,
Yeah.
he was a war dog. He was a fighter. He became a news guy. He somehow survived it. Somehow it didn't, drag him down like it does so many others. It propelled him. But now to see him, man, I mean, the acknowledging what Donald Trump has done by picking Pete Hegseth is pretty stellar, Jeff. I mean, I was like watching Hegseth yesterday during this, and not only was I impressed by the operation, which you will be, like, it's like we're getting ready to listen to a movie by watching this, but
Yeah. Top
seeing,
Gun.
yes, exactly, seeing him in the way that he's holding himself and the way that he's acting, like that I wished an American general would act. Whenever Milley got up there to that microphone, or this other dude that was wearing the Darth Vader mask, and it's night and day, ladies and gentlemen. Like, you're seeing competence. The reason that the media are so incensed the way that they are about J.D. Vance, because they have nothing to say.
And Raising Cane.
Nothing to pick on.
Yep. And Raising Cane. They're really upset, guys. They are really upset.
Flynn especially is upset. Like, the whole Flynn nut crew are even more upset at Raising Cane than the left.
Yeah, and we can get into that. But, I'm trying not to say his name so much. But it is true. It's true. And I can show you exactly their poll flopped on him. And I am copying that information to President Trump. So he's getting it. And don't worry. I mean, I'm really confident about that, Shady. I really am.
Wow.
I really think that they're seeing it. I mean, Susie Wiles allegedly, her daughter blocked Ivan Ranklin. I mean, so let's just, and she said no leaks. And Susie Wiles, I mean, if you look at our picture today, it's Raising Cane, Susie Wiles, Dan Scavino, and President Trump looking over them. And then over there is on the other side, if the picture is not cropped, it's Rubio. No leaks, guys. Do you realize if we had a leak that there would be a disaster with those B-2 bombers, guys? They would have killed them. That's how serious this stuff is.
Do you realize that there's no other broadcast that is currently supporting Susie Wiles?
We are.
That's what I'm saying. There's no other broadcast that's currently supporting her and supporting this operation. It's all criticism. Everything is criticism across the board for her, for Pam Bondi, and I've seen a number of you participate in that said criticism. What I'd like to see is support for Donald Trump's administration. What I'm glad to see is the ratio that Ivan experiences every time he makes one of those dumb posts.
That's right. All right. So this is the press conference at 10 a.m. that President Trump wanted you to watch. And I think we need to watch the whole thing, not just little snippets that people want to snippet out of for you. This is huge, guys. You ready?
I'm ready to witness competence that I voted for.
Competence and history, guys.
Yes. And we're ending the threat.
Ending. Not in a war, guys.
Yep.
Thank you for joining us this morning. Last night, on President Trump's orders, U.S. Central Command conducted a precision strike in the middle of the night against 3 nuclear facilities in Iran, Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan, in order to destroy or severely degrade Iran's nuclear program. And as the chairman of the Joint Chiefs will demonstrate, it was an incredible and overwhelming success. The order we received from our commander-in-chief was focused, it was powerful, and it was clear. We devastated the Iranian nuclear program. But it's worth noting the operation did not target Iranian troops or the Iranian people. For the entirety of his time in office, President Trump has consistently stated for over 10 years that Iran must not get a nuclear weapon. Full stop. Thanks to President Trump's bold and visionary leadership and his commitment to peace through strength, Iran's nuclear ambitions have been obliterated. Many presidents have dreamed of delivering the final blow to Iran's nuclear program, and none could until President Trump. The operation President Trump planned was bold and it was brilliant, showing the world that American deterrence is back. When this president speaks, the world should listen. And the U.S. military, we can back it up. The most powerful military the world has ever known. No other country on planet Earth could have conducted the operation that the chairman is going to outline this morning. Not even close. Just like Soleimani found out in the first term, Iran found out when POTUS says 60 days that he seeks peace and negotiation, he means 60 days of peace and negotiation. Otherwise, that nuclear program, that nuclear capability will not exist. He meant it. This is not the previous administration. The President Trump said no nukes. He seeks peace, and Iran should take that path. He sent out a truth last night saying this: any retaliation by Iran against the United States of America will be met with force far greater than what was witnessed tonight. Signed, the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. Iran would be smart to heed those words. He said it before, and he means it. I want to give recognition to the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the Joint Staff, General Eric Kurilla at CENTCOM, who did a phenomenal job, he and his staff, all of CENTCOM. Policy across the board, this was a joint effort, and across the Pentagon effort. I want to recognize the pilots who flew those bombers, who flew those fighters, who flew those refuelers, warriors. I want to recognize the sailors on those destroyers, in those subs, on those carriers, warriors, all of them. I want to recognize our soldiers doing air defense, base defense, QRF, warriors, all of them. Every American involved in this operation performed flawlessly. And I want to give recognition to our allies in Israel as well. This is a plan that took months and weeks of positioning and preparation so that we could be ready when the President of the United States called. It took a great deal of precision. It involved misdirection and the highest
Disinformation is necessary.
of operational security. Our B-2s went in and out of downtown Tehran, of these nuclear sites, in and out and back without the world knowing at all. In that way, it was historic. A strike that included the longest B-2 Spirit bomber mission since 2001 and the first operational employment of the MOP, a massive ordnance penetrator. The mission demonstrated to the world the level
As told by Q, guys. I mean, you realize this is huge.
of joint and allied integration that speak to the strength of our alliance and our joint forces. As President Trump has stated, the United States does not seek war, but let me be clear. We will act swiftly and decisively when our people, our partners, or our interests are threatened. Iran should listen to the President of the United States and know that he means it, every word. I want to give congratulations to our Commander-in-Chief. It was an honor to watch him lead last night and throughout, and to our great American warriors on this successful operation. God bless our troops. God bless America. And we give glory to God for his providence and continue to ask for his protection. I turn it over now to the chairman for specifics.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Thanks for recognizing all of our folks out there doing our nation's work, and nice to see everybody on this early Sunday morning. Last night on the President's orders, U.S. Central Command, under the command of General Eric Kurilla,
This is the people's general, my friends. Right here, guys.
executed Operation Midnight Hammer, a deliberate and precise strike against 3 Iranian nuclear facilities. This was a complex and high-risk mission carried out with exceptional skill and discipline by our joint force. I want to thank every service member, planner, operator that made this mission possible. Their actions reflect the highest standards of the United States Armed Forces.
Fox News'
This
feed didn't
operation
show
was
the graphic.
designed to severely degrade Iran's nuclear weapons infrastructure. It was planned and executed across multiple domains and theaters with coordination that reflects our ability to project power globally with speed and precision at the time and place of our nation's choosing. This was a highly classified mission with very few people in Washington knowing the timing or nature of this plan. I'll refer you to the graphic on the side as I walk you through some of the operational details.
This is also, I believe, a Midnight Rider proof. Also, remember the song that the fighter pilots listened before in operation? You know, these are all Q proofs, guys. Operation Midnight Hammer. These are your Midnight Riders right here, Shady.
Yeah, and I was just saying that Fox News just kept the camera on the general. They were not showing this during their coverage of this yesterday morning. They weren't showing any of these things and didn't show any of it until later on in the day.
Yep.
Midnight Friday
They don't
and
like
Saturday
success.
morning, a large B-2 strike package comprised of bombers launched from the continental United States. As part of the plan to maintain tactical surprise, part of the package proceeded to the west and into the Pacific as a decoy, a deception effort known only to an extremely small number of planners and key leaders here in Washington and in Tampa. The main strike package, comprised of 7 B-2 Spirit bombers, each with 2 crew members, proceeded quietly to the east with minimal communications. Throughout the 18-hour flight into the target area, the aircraft completed multiple in-flight refuelings. Once over land, the B-2s linked up with escort and support aircraft in a complex, tightly timed maneuver requiring exact synchronization across multiple platforms in a narrow piece of airspace, all done with minimal communications. This type of integration is exactly what our joint force does better than anyone else in the world. At approximately 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time last night, and just prior to the strike package entering Iran, a U.S. submarine in the Central Command Area of Responsibility launched more than 24 Tomahawk land attack cruise missiles against key surface infrastructure targets at Isfahan. As the Operation Midnight Hammer strike package entered Iranian airspace, the U.S. employed several deception tactics, including decoys, as the 4th and 5th generation aircraft pushed out in front of the strike package at high altitude and high speed, sweeping in front of the package for enemy fighters and surface-to-air missile threats. The strike package was supported by U.S. Strategic Command, U.S. Transportation Command, U.S. Cyber Command, U.S. Space Command, U.S. Space Force, and U.S. European Command. As the strike package approached Fordo and Natanz, the U.S. protection package employed high-speed suppression weapons to ensure safe passage of the strike package, with fighter assets employing preemptive suppressing fires against any potential Iranian surface-to-air threats. We are currently unaware of any shots fired at the U.S. strike package on the way in. At approximately 6:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2:10 a.m. Iran time, the lead B-2 dropped 2 GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrator weapons on the first of several aim points at Fordo. As the president stated last night, the remaining bombers then hit their targets as well, with a total of 14 MOPs dropped against 2 nuclear target areas. All 3 Iranian nuclear infrastructure targets were struck between 6:40 p.m. and 7:05 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, that's about 2:10 in the morning local time in Iran, with the Tomahawk missiles being the last to strike at Isfahan to ensure we retain the element of surprise throughout the operation. Following weapons release, the Midnight Hammer strike package exited Iranian airspace and the package began its return home. We are unaware of any shots fired at the package on the way out. Iran's fighters did not fly, and it appears that Iran's surface-to-air missile systems did not see us. Throughout the mission, we retained the element of surprise. In total, U.S. forces employed approximately 75 precision-guided weapons during this operation. This included, as the President stated last night, 14 30,000-pound GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrators, marking the first ever operational use of this weapon. I know that battle damage is of great interest. Final battle damage will take some time, but initial battle damage assessments indicate that all three sites sustained extremely severe damage and destruction. More than 125 U.S. aircraft participated in this mission, including B-2 stealth bombers, multiple flights of fourth and fifth generation fighters, dozens and dozens of air refueling tankers, a guided missile submarine, and a full array of intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance aircraft, as well as hundreds of maintenance and operational professionals. As the Secretary said, this was the largest B-2 operational strike in U.S. history and the second longest B-2 mission ever flown, exceeded only by those in the days following 9/11. Well prior to the strike, General Kurilla elevated force protection measures across the region, especially in Iraq, Syria, and the Gulf. Our forces remain on high alert and are fully postured to respond to any Iranian retaliation or proxy attacks, which would be an incredibly poor choice. We will defend ourselves. The safety of our service members and civilians remains our highest priority. This mission demonstrates the unmatched reach, coordination, and capability of the United States military. In just a matter of weeks, this went from strategic planning to global execution. This operation underscores the unmatched capabilities and global reach of the United States military. As the President clearly said last night, no other military in the world could have done this. I join the President and the Secretary in being incredibly proud of the air crews, naval forces, cyber operators, planners, and support teams, and commanders who made this mission possible. It is their skill, discipline, and teamwork that makes this operation possible. I am particularly proud of our discipline related to operational security, something that was of great concern to the President,
No leaks.
the Secretary, General Kurilla, and me, and we will continue to focus on this. As we stand here this morning, many assets are still airborne, and we have hundreds deployed. I ask that we keep our warfighters on their way home and our deployed service member in our thoughts. Our joint force remains ready to defend the United States, our troops, and our interests in the region. Thank you very much.
We will take a few questions.
Me? Yeah. So is regime change off the table, Mr. Secretary? And to the chairman,
Listen to this question, answer. Listen to this answer.
Do you believe that some nuclear capability in Iran remains?
This mission was not and has not been about regime change. The President authorized a precision operation to neutralize the threats to our national interests posed by the Iranian nuclear program and the collective self-defense of our troops and our ally Israel.
Thanks for your question. I think BDA is still pending, and it would be way too early for me to comment on what may or may not still be there. But thanks for the question.
Green. No, behind you.
Excuse me, Mr. Secretary, can you tell me, was there a particular moment when the President decided to pull the trigger on this operation where he said, now, rather than being, something in the holster, now we're going to pull the trigger on it?
I would just say, having the opportunity to witness his leadership, he was fully committed to the peace process. Wanted a negotiated outcome, gave Iran every single opportunity and unfortunately was met by stonewalling, which is why he gave them plenty of time to continue to come to the table and give up enrichment, give up the nuclear program. But there was I won't say the particular moment, there was certainly a moment in time where he realized that it had to be a certain action taken in order to minimize the threat to us and our troops. Yeah.
General, you say that General Karoline increased force protection in Iraq, Syria, and Gulf and those areas. Were they given any advance warning the attacks were coming? And also, Mr. Secretary, when were congressional leaders notified? How long before the attacks took place?
Sir, to your first question, the risk has clearly been rising over the last few weeks in the region. Based on that and not a particular awareness of this operation, we've made smart decisions to minimize the risk to U.S. forces in the region.
So you were given no advance warning?
No, sir.
Congressional?
They were notified after the planes were safely out. Well, we complied with the notification requirements of the War Powers Act.
Attacks, they were notified.
They were immediately thereafter. Yes.
Thank you, Secretary. Two quick questions. Do you believe you completely destroyed Iranian nuclear program? And how about Iranian ballistic missiles? Your ally as Israel always saying that is biggest threat. And second question is very important. What will be your next step if Iran or militias under Iranian influence in the region attack U.S. interests or allies in the region?
And you can chime in on this too, Mr. Chairman. The battle damage assessment is ongoing, but our initial assessment, as the chairman said, is that all of our precision munitions struck where we wanted them to strike and had the desired effect, which means especially in Fordo, which was the primary target here, we believe we achieved destruction of capabilities there. Ultimately, wherever it may be, whether it's in Iraq or Syria or bases in the Gulf, as the president said, it would be, as the chairman said, it would be a very bad idea for Iran or its proxies to attempt to attack American forces.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Regarding retaliations, Iran and North Korea.
Okay, I'm not going to listen to more of that. I think we got the gist. All right.
Yep.
Shady Groove. What do you think? So
I do.
That was an expertly played hand. I think we have no leaks, and I think it's amazing, Shady.
Well, I think that the dynamic now is in the hands of the ones who we fight, and we discuss things differently on the MG show because things are different. Things are different than the vernacular. Things are different than the norm. Things that they talk about in the media and the questions that these people ask are not relevant to stuff that you think a lot of the times because they don't understand exactly what's at play here. What's at play here is the undermining of the ability for the globalists to use the intelligence agencies to wield their power over the people of Earth and completely occupy their minds with fear, okay? That's what their plan is. That's the plan to make sure that they can tell you to put a mask on and you put a mask on. If you didn't notice, circa 2019, 2020, 2021, whenever these people came out and said, put a diaper on your face, the majority of the world listened to them. I have a sneaking suspicion that if something similar like that were to happen again today, that would not be the case, simply because we're seeing competence.
Yeah. And by the way, real quick, breaking news, Iran fired 6 missiles at Qatar. Probably the Al Monitor and this report, Iran launched missiles at U.S. bases in Qatar in retaliation for U.S. strikes on Iranian sites. The U.S. Embassy in Qatar issued a shelter-in-place warning, and Qatar closed its airspace, suggesting a credible threat. However, no U.S. official or Qatari statements confirm the attack, and Iran has not denied it. The evidence leans towards the claim being true, but the situation remains unverified. So there was about 6 missiles. Here's live footage of it, Shady Grove. They were all intercepted.
See ya.
This is allegedly happening in Qatar right now. They were all intercepted. All these missiles that were fired towards Qatar by Iran have been destroyed because they're pansies. Did I say that out loud? Sorry, I thought I muted
Because their
myself.
technology is not what they've threatened it to be.
Oh, wait, they're the boogeyman, though, Shady.
They don't have it. Exactly.
So there you go.
This is what you're going to realize is what you've been witnessing over the course of your whole entire life to do with Iran is a media propaganda narrative. All of it. Yeah, do they have missiles? Well, you can see that they're firing the missiles. Yes, they have a ton of missiles. They have a bunch of missiles that were, you want to know where they got the missiles? Does anybody really ever ask the question?
No, they don't even want to know where the uranium came from, Shady.
Where do they get those jet fighters? Where do they get all of those other different things that they have?
Where did they get the uranium?
Where do they get the uranium? Where do they get the materials that actually can produce and refine the uranium too? Those take centrifuges. Those take massive amounts of computing. Those take scientists that are willing to participate. People from other countries that know. What you're going to witness is all of the controlled states by the clowns in America are going to start to one by one disintegrate. As they disintegrate, it will start to fade. People will step up and people will decide that maybe they should elect somebody that represents them. One by one, these regimes will fall.
So we have another proof, Shady Groove, right here. This is, it's not politically correct to use the term regime change, but if the current Iranian regime is unable to make Iran great again, why wouldn't there be a regime change? MEGA. Oh, wow. So I'm sure Q never talked about MEGA. Oh, wait. Here we go. This is from at PUSS_Q. This is Torch. Regime change, MEGA. Oh, here's MEGA. There's also another photo with MEGA in it as well. Regime change, MEGA, and 455. 5-5, booms en route, blind, 5-5, green. Wow. Device hold, comms transfer, castle, chatter, rig for silent, Q+, 5-5, Q+. But look at this right here. Fight, free Iran, fight. We stand together in this fight. Where we go, one we go all. MEGA. Regime change, one post. People have the power. The people of Iran, guys. We stand with you. The people have power. Make Iran great again, Shady Groove. And this is June 19.
Okay, so now let's
19, 20, 21, 22. Go ahead.
Take everything you just said in. Regime. What did we say just a couple of weeks ago? We were saying on this show, if you hear the word regime, you think CIA. If you hear regime, you think CIA. Doesn't matter where you see it. The Khmer Rouge, I don't care where you've seen the word regime, think CIA. That's the code word. That's the trigger word that they utilize. Right now, Donald Trump, that's a one-to-one communication to the regime from Donald Trump. And what are we doing? Wait a minute, Jeff, now listen. You're going to have to help me here. I'm going to need your help because what I'm seeing is MEGA. I've been seeing MEGA.
Every June, pretty much.
No, hang on. No, from Candace Owens, from Mike Adams. They're saying that it's MEGA. It's make Israel great again. Donald Trump is Bibi Netanyahu's puppet. I thought I've signed on for MAGA, but it's now MEGA. And now Donald Trump is including Iran? Oh, well, isn't that interesting that MIGA is becoming Iran, not Israel, which all of the virtue signaling numbnuts from Bannon to sea to Shining Sea seem to be on board with, that it's somehow Donald Trump being puppeted by Israel.
Amazing.
Isn't that interesting, the dynamic in the way this is playing out?
So let's also real quick take a look at Operation Midnight Hammer, Shady Groove, okay? Look at this, Shady Groove. Operation Midnight Hammer. All of us have been antsy for the hammer to drop, but we will remember this time, the time before we knew the next big scene. This is historic, the calm before the storm. What happens when a blockade, don't they want to block the Strait of Hormuz, right? What happens if a blockade threat is dismantled and removed? You'll find out. Children used as shields, manufactured crimes of perjury, fire at will, commander. Wow. Operation Midnight Hammer. Oh, don't you remember this one, Shady Groove? Merry Christmas. Remember, Hammer Time is the name of the post. Hammer Time. There's a hammer with Santa, QA. Santa with hammer signed by QA. This Christmas, we want justice. Confirm. QA, QAnon. This is before the media took QAnon. Hammer. More to find over time. Happy hunting. Q. No, I mean, these are not Q proofs, Shady. And,
All right, Hammer.
the MEGA proofs as well are also interesting, Shady. And yes, your head should be spinning because we were told all about this.
Yeah, and all of the people that are now being proven operators they can't orient. They can't orient in this environment because they didn't actually read the drops. These people that came to Q after, and now they've like somehow occupied all the space because they're part of the little thesis, antithesis thing that they're going on out there. Nobody really decided to understand this stuff. And as a matter of fact, because we understood the stuff is the reason that these people attacked us, because they didn't like the way that we were reading it.
That's right. So does Iran have anything to do with oil?
It has everything to do with oil.
Good. So I want to show you this, okay? To the Department of Energy, drill, baby, drill. And I mean now. I'm sure that's not, 937. Oh my gosh. Q post 937 again, right? Glimpse. You cannot possibly imagine the size of this. Trust the plan. There are more good than bad. The world is helping. We are not alone. We are all connected in this fight. We stand together in this fight. MEGA. Patriots unite. We are winning big. Watch the speech. God bless. Look at that. Again, at PUSSQ.
This is why, so everybody can clearly understand, the dynamic of the globalist was to weaken, destroy, eliminate America's ability to produce energy. Therefore, the world relied on Iran and OPEC and the petrodollar. If you make America strong and undergird it with oil or with gold and not oil, you will get your wealth back. If you continue to have your economy based on the oil that comes out of the desert sand, you'll never have an economy until kingdom come.
I want to post this too. Before we get out of here, listen to this.
The president believes the Iranian people can control their own destiny. And what he said last night makes complete sense. If the Iranian regime refuses to come to a peaceful diplomatic solution, which the president is still interested in engaging in, by the way, why shouldn't the Iranian people take away the power of this incredibly violent regime that has been suppressing them for decades? And so our posture has not changed. Our military posture has not changed. These were decisive precision strikes that were successful on Saturday evening. But the president is just simply raising a good question that many people around the world are asking.
Boom. Iranian people. So Shady, that goes to, look, I posted this on June 11th, Shady Grove. June 11th, 25, U.S. to partially evacuate embassy in Iran as tensions arise. We stand with the good people of Iran who are currently battling their installed regime for freedom. True rule. The people have the power. Rise up and demand they be removed. At some point, military generals will act with the will of the people simply because their soldiers are those same people and have no choice. We stand with you. We are monitoring the situation closely. Stay safe. God bless. Watch Iran. Okay? Something is incredible is about to happen. The good people of Iran have the power. Fight for your freedom, guys. This is it. This is it. These are Q proofs, Shady Grove, beyond Q proofs.
This is what you're seeing is that we are exposing their vulnerabilities. We're exposing, you cannot have a threat if you're not a threat. We are pulled back the curtain. Now you can see clearly that there is no threat. The Mike Pompeos of the world are nervous. The General Flynn's and Mike Bolton's of the world, or John Bolton's of the world, are nervous.
John Bolton's mustache is even worried, Shady.
John Bolton's mustache ran for the hills.
Ran for the hills. And just to let you know, I'm just going to, before we get out of here, we got 30 seconds. This is breaking news. Flynn Network fail again. Congrats to the unstoppable Susie Wiles, Trump's 47 chief of staff queen, with 53% of the vote saying okay. And haters trembling at 23%. Atrocious. She's here to shake D.C. to its core. Susie Wiles, she is amazing. I love her. Here's a video if you want to get to know who Susie Wiles is and get to know the opposition. And those who scream the loudest, if you remember this, Flynn is a better option than Trump once Trump is assassinated. That is what Ivan Ranklin said, and that's where we're at. We are winning, and we'll be right back after these beautiful boom messages.
We're winning. Hello to all all of you beautiful patriots out there.
First of all, let me just thank you all for supporting this show. We wouldn't be here without you. But I have a huge announcement regarding donations.
It has come to our attention that using the Rumble app is taking an additional 30% of your donation to the show.
Let me explain. According to our TOS, Rumble takes 20% of all donations made through the web browser.
And that's a 20%. It's a good deal if you consider other platforms like YouTube and such.
But there is a hidden cost that we just found out. For example, we received the generous $500 donation from Spilty, and thank you so much for that, from the Rumble app on Apple. So Rumble took 20% and Apple took an additional 30%. We brought that to Rumble, and they said, well, Rumble's take of tips and donations is 20%. That's if the transaction is done through the web browser. If using the Android or iOS app, it's an additional 30% collected by those platforms.
So please use the web browser to make your donations to the show and avoid the hidden fees by Apple and Android.
That's right. You can also support us at GiveSendGo/HelpMGShow, mg.show/donate. We have PayPal and Cash App. Both are at RealMGShow or $RealMGShow. Please help us out. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
To celebrate our newest launch, Rev 7, I'm bringing you an amazing introductory offer, plus an exclusive overstock sale that you're not going to want to miss. Rev 7 is our premium energy drink that tastes great and gives you energy all day with no jitters and no crashes. That's because there's no sugar and no caffeine. I'm so sure you're going to love Rev 7 that for a limited time you can try our 3-pack absolutely free. Or check out our Percale bed sheets. I can't believe I'm even going to say this. Every color, every style, every size, only $29.88. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save 20% on our Rev 7 12-packs or try our introductory 3-pack absolutely free. And our Percale bed sheets, all sizes only $29.88, even the queens and kings. Inventory is extremely limited, so order now.
Q-Waken is a streetwear brand and a community-driven project blending fashion, art, and digital assets. Built on the XRP ledger, it offers phygital products. Physical items like hoodies tied to NFTs, non-fungible tokens that grant rewards in QWK tokens. Our QWK token powers our d-commerce ecosystem, rewarding you for engaging, holding, and shopping in a decentralized way. Aiming to revolutionize streetwear with a focus on sustainability and community values, Q-Waken was founded in late 2021, and it's tied to the Great Awakening theme, promoting free thought and truth-seeking. Join us at qwaken.club and become active part of the Golden Age.
You have a choice, it's always been yours. A voice they can't silence, breaking through the noise. They pull the strings, they set the stage, divide us with wars, lock us in a cage. Race and class, faith and fear, they scream so loud, but we're still here. Through MG show, the truth breaks free. MG music lifts us, a rallying plea. Power to the people, hear the call ignite. Dark to light, we're stepping out tonight. They're losing grip, their shadows fade. Together we stand unafraid. Oh, power to the people. Oh, we'll never let it go. They shame the brave, they chain the free. Group think marching, but not for me. Hollywood glitters, leaders deceive, but MG show shines, makes us believe. Defend the chaos, push the dread. Nuclear whispers, words they bled. MG music plays a rebel sound. The truth is clear, it's all around. Power to the people, hear the call ignite. Dark to light, we're stepping out tonight. They're losing grip, their shadows fade. Together we stand unafraid. Oh, power to the people. Oh, we'll never let it go. We planned, we fought, we took the reins. Through the storm, through the chains. Antifa rises, fears their game. But MG show calls out their shame. Sheep may follow, blind and weak. MG music wakes us, truth we seek. God bless the brave, the heart sincere. From every shore, the call is clear. Power to the people, hear the call ignite. Dark to light, we're stepping out tonight. They're losing grip, their shadows fade. Together we stand unafraid. Oh, power to the people. Oh, we'll never let it go. Stand firm, be strong, the words resound. All men are equal on sacred ground. MG show leads, MG music sings. The people's power spreads its wings. Power to the people. Oh,
This goes out to
power to the people.
you and the good people of Iran.
We rise.
Rise. Shady Groove, welcome back to the MG show.
I'd like to thank everybody out there so very much for actually having the mind to understand and to dig in and to care and to know what's really going on. Thank you so much for that, Jeff, because the Iranian people are the ones that, unfortunately, you, the American people, through your intelligence agencies, have locked down for the whole century, for the whole
They locked us down too, Shady.
for the whole 20th century. And yes, they did lock us down. They showed you they were a tyrant, didn't they? They proved to you that they were tyrants. They proved to you that the intelligence agency was not there to help you navigate a pandemic. The intelligence agency was there to enforce the rules, okay? Those rules have been implemented for decades and decades, and the people like us and like you, a majority of the people that are in this chat at some point were more than likely a loner conspiracy person out there trying to talk to your friends and family, and everything that you said, they looked down their nose at you and they acted like there was something wrong with you, when in fact, you had went and done the research and had found out for yourself then. Now you have a little bit of strength in Donald Trump, because Donald Trump is standing in the gap for all people, Jeff. It's not just the American people. And this is something that Q explained to you. This is about all people. The American people aren't specifically special. We just implemented a good type of government that represents the people. Any other country has that opportunity, and you even have a better opportunity knowing that your current government is controlled by globalist clowns.
That's right. And Paula says they didn't lock me down. Well, they locked us down. They used Hillary Clinton. They used Hillary Clinton assets. They used networks. They took away our PayPal, our Cash App, our Patreon, our YouTube. I mean, you name it. They did lock us down. Okay. This show, they locked Shady down and they locked me down. And that's why I'm like, come on, people. Are you afraid to share my stuff on X because you're worried about what some cult members would think about you? It's time to grow a pair. And it's time to show these people who we really are. This is a government for the people, of the people, by the people. And the government is being given back to the people, not the rogue military assets, Shady.
It's crucial, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's like there's nobody else that's navigating this the way that we are. There's nobody out there that understands Iran is not a threat. You realize that? Bannon's flipping out, Tucker flipping out, Marjorie Taylor Greene flipping out, every single one of the Hodge twins flipping out, Mike Adams flipping out, Nick Fuentes flipping out, Alex Jones flipping out, Laura Loomer flipping out, Candace Owens flipping out. All of these people are flipping the F out. Why? Why? Because they're trying to act like, because Alex Jones puts out a meme that's got Donald Trump morphed into George Bush, and they're all trying to pretend like he's a neocon. Rand Paul flipping out. Thomas Massey flipping out. Why are they all flipping out? Because Donald Trump just took away their boogeyman, guys. He took away their ability to threaten the world and to conquer us through fear. FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. That's what we've had about Iran the whole time. What do we have now? A little bit of clarity. A little bit of strength, a little bit of competence, a little bit of a direction, leadership. Holy crap, Jeff. Can you imagine the leadership? Whenever we were under George Bush, there were people throwing shoes at him and he couldn't get out the door in China.
He threw up in China, didn't he?
And he threw up.
All right, here we go. And the Bush family loved China, Shady Groove. And that's...
They built it.
Yeah, they built it through Germany. Okay.
And Prescott Bush and Iranian oil, but nobody talks about that.
Still haven't tried 1775 coffee, Shady? Now is your shot. The 1775 coffee kit just dropped, and only 1,000 units. You're getting the bold, dark roast that hits harder than a CNN fact check. The smooth, medium roast and the Vitality Mushroom Coffee for clean energy and laser focus. No crash. I see sounds. I love it. All single origin, small batch, toxin free, mold free. Plus, you're also getting a gold spoon clip because freedom is not scooped with plastic. And a frother strong enough to stir up your coffee and your mother's political opinions. A black 1775 coffee tumbler that says, I don't take life advice or caffeine from a woke sea witch. That's $170 worth of coffee and gear, yours for $99. This is the ones that have been watching Rumble's 1775 coffee blow up right here on Rumble and wondering if it's actually worth it. Spoiler alert. Here's my Biden impression. It's worth it. Okay. Go to 1775coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit before they're gone. Bold beans, clean fuel, and a morning routine that stands for something just like the MG show and Rumble does. Start your day with coffee that actually backs what you believe.
Thank you, Jeff, so much for reading that. Your Biden is too cute. You need more creepy.
I need creepier?
Yeah, you need more creepy. The Biden impression was way too cute.
It is. Is that better? Huh? You like that Biden impression right there?
That's more like the Biden I know. Thank you. Sorry about that.
Thank you for the counseling session, Shady. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, anytime.
All right.
We're early in the second hour still.
I know, right? I wanted to play this as well, Shady Groove, because, well, first of all, I want to show you this, that, you know, this is Katie Wiles who reposted this, and I love it. No leaks, courtesy of the Ice Maiden. Look at that. I love it. I love it. And there's Rubio. There's JD. There's the People's General. There's Dan. And there's your president, Donald J. Trump, along with this amazing chief of staff, Susie Wiles, Shady Group. I love this picture. Like, I don't know how much I can tell you how much I love this picture, Shady Group.
I really love this picture. I really love the not only the picture, but I love how much that the people that see the picture that are against Susie hate the picture. Like,
Oh, I love
that makes me like the picture even more. And so it spirals. I think is what you were trying to note there. As you like it, you begin to like it more. Then you realize the symbolism, and you like it more. And you realize how much they hate it. And you like it more. And the next thing you know, you're like on the air, and you're telling everybody how much you like it, and then everybody's liking it.
Let me show you this. I love how Katie Wiles, Susie Wiles' daughter, says, also, thank you for your attention to this matter. There were no leaks. There was no panic. There was Susie Wiles. I love that picture, Shady.
Oh, you mean to tell me that General Flynn didn't get it right?
Who?
You mean to tell me that Roger Stone didn't? Oh, Alex Jones told me that the nukes were flying on Friday night, bro.
Who?
The nukes.
E-Boyle, thank you. Rev Rob, thank you. Kimmy, thank you so much. Kimma, thank you. Kimma, thank you so much. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys so much. And the word has it that she blocked Ranklin.
That is the word on the street. That's such
Susie
a good
Wiles.
word.
Yeah, I
Boy,
love that word.
The time may come when we prove that.
I want to go through something that's pretty cool, Shady. I watched it this weekend, and it's basically how the U.S. B-2 bombers struck the Iranian nuclear sites. It's very good.
Let's go.
All right. Okay. So this is probably one of the best depictions from the, what we heard from the People's General Raisin Kane. But this is AI. It's an AI video, but it's very good. Check it out.
The U.S. launched around 125 aircraft to strike Iran's three main nuclear sites, Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan. The tip of the spear were 6 B-2 Spirit bombers, which took off from Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri on the morning of June 21st,
Now, I've heard now that there's 7, but that's neither here nor there.
2025. In addition, around 30 cruise missiles were fired from U.S. nuclear submarines submerged in the region, hitting the underground nuclear enrichment facilities one after another. It might sound straightforward, but it's far from simple.
Boom.
These aircraft are massive fuel guzzlers and rely heavily on aerial refueling support to complete such long-range missions. And here's where it gets even more complex. The KC-135 Stratotanker aircraft, responsible for mid-air refueling, don't operate alone. They require protection provided by F-A-18 electronic warfare squadrons that escort the tankers and also help shield the B-2 bombers from detection and attack. More detail all in the video ahead. The mission begins in the quiet hours before dawn at Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri, where the B-2 Spirit prepares for a flight that will span continents. While the stealth bomber is capable of flying non-stop with aerial refueling, pilot fatigue is a major consideration. To mitigate this, the U.S. has strategically positioned Allied air bases in Qatar, closer to Iran, and on Diego Garcia, and possibly forward operating bases such as Anderson Air Force Base in Guam, one of the most strategic U.S. military bases in the world. By redeploying several B-2 Spirit bombers from the 509th Bomb Wing to Diego Garcia, the U.S. ensures a secure launch point for operations across the Middle East, Africa, and the Indo-Pacific. A carefully calculated military strategy that enhances both survivability and operational reach. But they were also escorted by aircraft carriers and submarines. Across the Arabian Sea, F-A-18 Super Hornets and EA-18G Growler launch from the decks of U.S. carriers, their roles already defined. Some will clear a path through Iran's air defenses, while others will guard the tankers that keep the entire operation airborne. The KC-135 Stratotankers, laden with fuel, loiter in friendly airspace over Saudi Arabia. The crews aware that their unglamorous task could mean the difference between triumph and catastrophe. As the B-2s lift off, their jagged silhouettes blend into the night sky. Stealth is their shield, but distance is their enemy. Hours into the flight, they rendezvous with tankers flying over the canal, gulping fuel midair as F-A-18s circle protectively. The Growlers emit a cacophony of electronic noise, masking the strike group's movements. Meanwhile, in underground command centers, U.S. analysts watch real-time feeds ready to redirect forces if Iran's radars flicker to light. Crossing into Iranian airspace is no easy task. The B-2s must climb to an extremely high altitude, their routes meticulously plotted to avoid known missile sites. Below the landscape, a vast stretch of mountains and deserts offers little cover, but the bombers' radar-absorbing skin helps them slip past enemy detection. As the targets come within range, the crews face a critical decision. Launch standoff missiles from hundreds of miles away or descend to drop bunker-busting bombs directly onto fortified sites. There are different bunker buster bombs of different caliber, but what sets it apart from the rest is this GBU-57, which is typically delivered by the B-2 Spirit stealth bomber. Due to the bomb's large size and weight, the aircraft can carry only 2 of these weapons in its bomb bay compartments. While it lacks thrusters, the weapon is equipped with 4 active lattice fins and a precision guidance system that enables it to glide accurately to its target using military-grade GPS. Constructed from a specially designed high-performance steel alloy, using its weight when falling under gravity to penetrate or dig itself up to 200 feet of underground soil or concrete. But it's not that easy. Iran's air defenses remain a formidable threat. MiG-29s and aging F-14s may not be cutting edge, but they can still be dangerous if they're lucky enough to intercept a B-2 stealth bombers. The stealth bombers have virtually no dogfighting capability and Iranian ground controllers, struggling to cut through the electronic jamming, vector their fighters toward the incoming bombers. But the US military has its own countermeasures. EA-18 Growler, flooding Iranian frequencies with static to disrupt communications and targeting systems. Confusion spreads, making it harder for enemy pilots to coordinate. If Iranian fighter jets manage to get close, the F-A-18s are waiting. Guided by airborne warning and control system aircraft orbiting safely offshore, they engage with long-range missiles, forcing Iranian pilots to either break off or face certain destruction. The B-2s will now be racing westward to avoid Iranian air defense system. Behind them, the sky churns with chaos. SAM sites reactivated in desperation unleash salvos that spiral harmlessly into empty air, duped by decoys. Growlers continue their electronic siege, while reserve F-18s surge forward to reinforce the retreat. Over Iraq, the bombers meet tankers again, gulping fuel as F-22 Raptors join the escort, their sensors scanning for threats the Iranians might yet muster. Let's take a look at how this works. Step 1. The bomb deployment platform. As previously mentioned, a B-2 stealth bomber flies at a very high altitude. When the aircraft reaches the designated location and the conditions are optimal, it releases the weapon. The bomb is designed for precision, and the deployment height plays a crucial role in its trajectory and effectiveness. Then step 2 comes the targeting precision. The bomb is outfitted with advanced guidance technology, including GPS and inertial navigation systems, which are military-grade satellites. Then comes step 3, that is adjusting the trajectory. The guidance information and data is then transmitted to the bomb's 4 lattice motors fins located at the rear. These fins can move and adjust in real time, allowing the bomb to correct its course as it descends under the force of gravity. These adjustments are essential because the weapon does not have thrusters to change its trajectory. Instead, it relies on the movement of these fins and a high-altitude drop to control its flight path. This is why the bomb must be deployed from a very high altitude so it has enough time and distance to adjust its trajectory accurately. Here comes the most difficult part, that is step 4, impact and penetration. The bomb, known as the Massive Ordnance Penetrator, weighs approximately 30,000 pounds, which is around 14,000 kilograms. When it reaches its target, it strikes with immense force, designed to penetrate deep into hardened structures, such as bunkers. The energy upon impact allows the bomb to bury itself over 200 feet into reinforced concrete, ensuring it delivers its payload precisely where it is intended for maximum effect. Finally, step 5 involves the tricky part of arming the weapon. It was installed with 2 SDB fuses. Double fuses are required as a backup. The first is for G-sensing and the second is the time delay fuse. Why the redesign was necessary, it was to ensure that the bomb could strike facilities buried beneath significant layers of hardened material. For this reason, the fuses are placed at the rear of the bomb to prevent them from being damaged. Once the time delay or the G-sensing fuse reaches its destination, it can blow up, creating a mini earthquake that can bury bunkers and 20-story buildings inside them. Let's take a look at why Israel has been bombarding Iran's nuclear sites since June 13, 2025, yet has failed to penetrate them, and why the US had to bring in B-2 Spirit bombers to take out these heavily fortified bunkers. These nuclear facilities aren't just hidden, they're buried under layers of reinforced concrete and soil designed specifically to withstand most conventional attacks. Israel has been using its own bunker buster bombs, But they were only able to destroy the ventilation shafts. These weapons have not been able to fully penetrate Iran's most fortified underground nuclear sites. The aim is to chip away at the defenses layer by layer. This is where the B-2 Spirit comes and flies close to the target, open the bomb bay door, and drop the 30,000 bunker buster weapon without any interference from Iranian air defense system. Capable of deeper penetration, the outcome might have been more decisive, possibly damaging or even destroying the underground uranium enrichment facilities in one go. As stated, the U.S. wants primary goal is to cripple Iran's nuclear program by hitting its most critical enrichment sites, specifically Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan. Take Natanz, for example. This facility includes 6 above-ground buildings and 3 underground structures, 2 of which are large enough to hold 50,000 centrifuges, according to the Nuclear Threat Initiative. For this site, the U.S. Navy submarines launched 30 cruise and land attack missiles targeting this nuclear facilities, which didn't require deep penetration. When ready to launch, it will open of the hatch and the protective seal will break open. High-pressure air is pumped into the tube, and these are used to eject the cruise missile. The tip of the missile breaks the water's surface. The rocket boosters fire and propel the missile into its path. Boosters fall off as soon as the missile is out of the water. The main engine of the cruise missile will engage, and then it will automatically open its wing, just like the animation shown here. This is the result of the cruise missile damage at the top of the ventilation nuclear enrichment plant. They went far beyond surface damage, knocking out power on the lower levels where the centrifuges are housed. The above-ground section of the pilot fuel enrichment plant was also destroyed. Now consider Fordo. Unlike Natanz, Fordo is located deep underground and protected by extensive fortifications. Israel targeted it with advanced bunker-busting munitions, but the results were far less conclusive. Their bombs struggled to break through the dense shielding. This is where the U.S. comes in and dropped around 12 GBU-57 on these sites. As you can see, it can punch around 200 feet underground, which is around a 20-story tall building. This means it can penetrate Fordo nuclear site. Required for deep penetration. This heavy, compact design enables it to break through over 200 feet of reinforced concrete, destroying Fordo nuclear enrichment facility. We make original videos from scratch, so please do subscribe.
All right, so not AI. That's not AI. But I wanted to show you that because it's probably one of the most accurate depictions of what happened, okay? Yes, they had some facts wrong, but this was made right after, the announcement from the DOD that day. And that's a really good, like, if you want to know how lethal this military is and can be, this is a great video to show people, Shady.
And if you want to see some competence and how they utilized all this stuff and synced it up together, I think that's the most extraordinary part of it. And the overall objective wasn't to eliminate, quote unquote, the nuclear facilities of Iran. The overall objective was to cripple the optic threat from Iran. In other words, now the whole world knows that you can fly over the country with B-2 bombers and they can't even get off a shot before we get out of there. You get that, right? Like, China sees that as weakness. Russia sees that as weakness. They can't defend that. Russia is barely they're having a hard enough time controlling the airspace in their own country. And right now, Iran has completely lost all control of their airspace to Israel. Now I think yesterday I read that they have hit a number of their airports, so they can't launch any of their aircraft anywhere. So you're effectively grounded. And once you're grounded, what are you going to do? You're not the threat you made everybody think you were.
Yeah. There is no such thing as a civilian nuke site in Iran. Shifted to high. I don't think so. Good comment, though. All right. So, fascinating. To say the
Those
least.
civilians are getting to dig off the plantation.
Them damn civilians. I love it. This is amazing, guys. And, the Moab, the mother of all bombs, is there as well. And what people don't realize is that, Obama has done Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya. If you compare that to Donald J. Trump, it's crazy. There was 26,172 bombs dropped by Obama. So don't give me that crap about Trump, didn't have approval and blah, 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 blah.
Well, there's even another layer to that, because then you have to add in the McCain intelligence apparatus that was giving them the coordinates so that they could take out ISIS opposition.
Yeah.
You see, that's what Obama was doing. Obama was taking out opposition of the armies and militant forces of said countries so that ISIS could better take over the processes and start destroying the infrastructure.
Yeah.
So he was weakening the country. So effectively, Obama was weakening the country of Syria, weakening the country of Libya, weakening a number of other Middle Eastern countries so that the radical extremists could take over the government and then the clowns could puppet the radical extremists. It's almost like they're doing that here.
Shady, what if China and Russia and others, among others, were helping get rid of the New World Order? Let's just call it what they call it, Shady.
Let's do.
You ready?
I am.
What if China, guys, I'm going to pose this question. I think we got a Q proof. You ready? You ready?
Yeah, I said ready.
Oh, yeah. I just thought I had a co-host.
I said ready. What in the world do you want from me?
Counseling, okay? It's working, but you got to like polish it around the edges a little bit.
Easy.
You're on beef liver. Come on now.
10
now, huh? You went from 9 to 10. I see how you work.
Oh, yeah, I did.
All right, this is what you call a Q proof, guys. Ready?
Meeting yesterday. But Russia's former president, Dmitry Medvedev, claims multiple countries are ready to step in to help Iran achieve a nuclear weapon. Stating this, quote, the enrichment of nuclear material, and now we can say it outright, the future production of nuclear weapons will continue, he said. A number of countries are ready to directly supply Iran with their own nuclear warheads. President Trump has since responded, saying that talk of nuclear weapons should not be treated so casually. This reads like a Joel C.
All right, so they're calling for a ceasefire, okay? Russia and China. Now, what's really interesting about that is that, we've got a post saying, that they're working together to get rid of this, guys. I mean, and that's where we're at. But, it's pretty crazy. I'm just looking at some of the news coming in today about Iran attacking the U.S. Air Base in Qatar. It's interesting. Why do we still have bases there? Because they know it won't draw Qatar into a conflict. Pretty interesting. But, it's what's happening, right now, Shady Grove, is history. And, we're not watching a movie. This is real life, okay? I saw somebody said we're watching a movie, but it does play out like a movie. I'm not going to argue. But what we're seeing right now is proofs upon proofs upon proofs upon proofs where we didn't have any during the whole 4 years that devolution was in play.
Exactly. And isn't that interesting?
Sorry, I'm kidding. Love the devolution.
Oh, but isn't that interesting? No, but to some degree, you're exactly right, because what were they doing? The devolution people were telling you that Donald Trump was the one doing it to you. The devolution people told you that Donald Trump was in charge of bringing those 20 million people here that they were having a tough time getting out. You see what I'm saying? Like, so if Donald Trump was really in charge and he was just, he's effectively being a puppet to Joe Biden, which they don't really, they don't want you to categorize or to characterize things like that, Jeff, because then that gets you way off the reservation. A number of those people, a number of those countries like Qatar and others, by the way, we have bases there because we were asked to have bases there to protect them from the threat. So do you understand?
People don't realize that Qatar is the military-industrial complex's playground.
But also, you got to understand, pandemic insurance is similar to deep state insurance.
Yeah.
Right?
New World Order insurance.
Yeah, right. You gotta have the boogeyman before you can say, oh yeah, we need to have a base in your country to protect you from the boogeyman. So you understand? So the government comes to you and says, "Oh, the government, could you protect us, please? Because these Iranian people, they don't understand that the Iranians are being fed missiles by clowns on the black market through Bitcoin."
Yeah, exactly right. So Medvedev, ready?
Medvedev.
This is from Donald J. Trump. There were 2 posts, by the way. And I'll share that with you in a second. But look at this. Did I hear former President Medvedev in Russia casually throwing around the N-word, nuclear, and saying that other countries would supply nuclear warheads to Iran? Did he really say that? Or is it just a figment of my imagination? If he did say that, and if confirmed, please let me know immediately. The N-word, nuclear, should not be treated so casually. I guess that's why Putin's the boss. By the way, if anyone thinks our hardware was great over the weekend, far and away the strongest and best equipment we have. 20 years advanced over the pack is our nuclear submarines. They are the most powerful and lethal weapons ever built, and just launched the 30 Tomahawks. All 30 hit their mark perfectly. So, in addition to our great fighter pilots, thank you to the captain and crew. So, this Shady Groove is very interesting because we are at zero bubble, Shady. Wow.
Man.
So this is a Q proof, Shady. Let's look at this real quick because there was one that was posted at 11:25, and I don't see any, and I haven't looked at it, but I don't see any errors. But there, so 11:25, Shady, and then 11:27, it was reposted. But what's interesting are the timestamps. So 11:25, FBI burning midnight oil. What was that was just released to Nunez? Warning telegraph. It's happening. Q. And then 11:27, our comms must be this way. Refer back to the why. National security laws. Trust the plan. April showers. Q.
Man.
So did we just get confirmation that we're over the target with the comms and the timestamps from President Trump, Dan Scavino?
We're also getting confirmation that everybody else in the talking head media arena are wrong. They're all wrong. Every single one of them are wrong about every single thing that they said. Half of them are screaming and yelling that this is going to be a neocon war with Iran. The other half of them are screaming and yelling that Donald Trump is Bibi Netanyahu's puppet. All of them are wrong. Why? What was Q for? Q obviously was not to help the people that thought that they were the press. Q was to help the people that were people understand how the press was tricking them and propagandizing them and lying to all of us and then pretending like things were threats that weren't threats and pretending like things that are threats aren't threats. Like that, this is the inversion. This is why Q said, think mirror, left is right, up is down, look behind you. That's because what's behind you, what they are ignoring, everything that you're seeing is the optic. If you see it, it's the optic. If you don't see it, it's behind you. Q said, look behind you. That's what a lot of us started doing. That's what a lot of you out here started doing. And now you're seeing, I mean, look at that. Like what Jeff just showed right there. How are you going to outline this? How are you going to expose it unless the world can see it for what it is? And now the world sees that Iran is not the threat that they were projecting themselves to be.
Yep. Sparkanon says Q taught us how to seed the game and how to interpret things, right? That's why we're so over the target and in lockstep with President Trump all the time. Great comment. Breaking news, U.S. fighters have just scrambled from Prince Sultan Air Base in Saudi Arabia. Looks like Bahrain sirens. Let me just go ahead. This is Bahrain, Shady Groove. So there's Bahrain. We just hear the sirens, that's all. So you got the sirens. And then this is a latest update from Iran State TV, now attacking U.S. bases in the Middle East.
Come under attack. And of course, with those U.S. strikes against the Iranian nuclear facilities, those 3 facilities over the weekend, the officials here have been bracing for such a response. Israeli officials, though, remain on high alert, understanding that this is certainly not the end of Iranian response as it relates to Israel. But as for American forces in the region, again, the latest information that we can report attributable to Qatari officials is that there were no injuries in these strikes that took place just earlier this hour. And there is initial reporting coming in right now from the New York Times indicating that Iran coordinated the attacks with the American air base in Qatar, and Qatari officials gave advance notice that the attacks were coming to minimize the casualties. Again, that information attributable to the New York Times, but this is not surprising.
Wow. And somebody in chat, Jules, is saying that Qatari capital was just hit. Not sure. We need to look at that. But, so remember, guys, there were 4 booms, and we saw 3.
And also, Jeff, real quick, I want to just do a quick reminder of because now we're starting to hear some of what we expected to hear that this occurred over the weekend. This is right here. You take a screenshot. I'll leave this up for just a second if you'd like. This was right here would be an outline or a graphic showing all of the years and the countries in which our intelligence agencies initiated a coup. Okay, so a number of these countries that you're seeing on this list will be activated going over the next few weeks, maybe even a few months here, where they're going to all act up, act out, be under attack, need to be defended. All of these different things are going to play out. Iran is the center hub of all of this mayhem and madness. So I'm going to drop that link again here to show you guys, but I just wanted to let you know that don't be freaking out whenever they, they're going to be like screaming at you that it's World War III. It's not World War III whenever we are taking away the optic threat of all of these marauding countries.
Yeah. Iran's claim of destroying the Al Udeid air base in Qatar lacks verification. Qatar's defense ministry reports intercepting the missiles with no casualties or damage confirmed. U.S. and Qatari sources align on minimal impact despite Iran's narrative of powerful attack.
And be careful out there of fake stuff. I mean, that post that Flynn made got a note because that was fake, just like we said. We said it was fake. Oh, no, that's fake. That's from Syria from however long ago. That didn't happen just the other day in Iran.
Yep. And I think we already showed that video. Can you say FAFO?
FAFO, Rev Rob.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. These people, it's propaganda. The Qatar, they're acting like it's about to burn. Qatar has pretty good weapon systems as well. Qatar's statement is, quote, "We reserve the right to respond directly in accordance with international law, asserts its sovereignty and keeps options open, diplomatic, economic, military, without commenting to any specific action." It emphasizes legal compliance, but suggesting restraint. Shady.
Wow. Nice comment there from, what is it, Land of Hoy. That's why Q said that we are the frame and the support. That's correct. And also the foundation, right? We're the foundation of which this world's issues rests upon. The American people are the foundation because we are the only representative government. You guys want to point, people want to point to Finland or Sweden or all these other countries as represent. Go out there and stand in the public square and say something that the government doesn't like and see how long you're a free people. You don't understand. You're seeing this optic of all these people that are from foreign countries burning stuff down in your cities. Try taking that behavior to any country on earth, guys, and you will be put down. Like literally put down.
Yeah. Wow. Until Trump says it, wait, let's go look at Trump right now, see if we can find him on Truth Social, see if there's any comment from our president, who we listen to, nobody else. I see people still, never mind. Okay, nope, we still got get the bum out. So he's also wanting to get Thomas Massey out, Shady Groove?
Oh yeah, well, but they're holding, the cult is holding on to Massey, sir. They're like, we can't beat Massey. We'll see.
Yeah. And I'd like you to just, I want to make this statement one more time. And to understand the full scope of Iran, you might want to go through these 82 drops about Iran, okay? And this is nothing can stop what is coming.news, okay? This is shareable on X, okay? You can share these posts from this aggregator on X. Here are all the posts. There's 82 of them. We read a good portion of them, Shady Groove, a long time ago. But what you're going to realize is that it's all connected. It's bigger than you can imagine. It's more than selling state secrets. It's more than selling the U.S. security. It's more than selling military tech. It's more than selling of CIA assets. It's more than selling of NSA bulk data collection programs, more than selling uranium, more than the U.S. space national security programs and positions, more than selling of U.S. aid, more than selling SAPs, class 1 through 99. This is crimes against humanity. When you cannot destroy, defeat the United States of America by attacking head on, you change tactics and deploy a kill from within, internal operation, financial, economy, military, police, division of citizenry, border collapse, install like-minded leaders in positions of U.S. Gov. How many people removed from the FBI had Iranian family backgrounds? The silent war continues. There are so many good posts to understand what is really happening. All of these people that wanted to impeach Trump and all this stuff are in on it, guys. They're all in on it.
Peter Strzok, FBI, Lisa Page, FBI, John Brennan, head of the CIA, just to name a couple. What is that inscription on that ring that Barack Obama is wearing? Where's Valerie Jarrett from? Where are Susan Rice from? Who are these people really loyal to? What is and why was Q so specific about highlighting the Harvard University Muslim alumni? Huma, H-U-M-A, because it stems from somewhere. What exactly is a Muslim Brotherhood? Who was AWAN? Who was controlling the IT networks? What were the IT networks doing? Oh, they were offering services to every single congressman so that they could control what information those congressmen were getting and could understand what type of blackmail material there might be there to feed backup chain to people that were in the intel community like Flynn, like Clapper, like Comey, like Brennan, like Peter Strzok, that all had ties to Iran and to wanting to do what? To quote unquote keep the boogeyman.
So guess who wrote a book called Atomic Iran in 2005? Jerome Corsi. Who is that tied to?
Alex Jones.
Because it's all right here, guys. Here's your Alex Jones Corsi free speech systems in the Iran drops. In the Iran drops, folks. Okay?
All right there.
All right here.
That's why the first 128 drops are so important, because these drops connect specifically back to the first 128 drops.
Wow. Amazing.
It's amazing how much we have and how much is being ignored so that people could tell you dumb stuff like, oh, Joe Biden's wearing a mask. We're in a ground war with Iran.
Yeah. Here's three. Well, actually, not yet. We're not in a ground war with Iran.
That's what the people are acting
that's what
like
they're
that.
saying.
Yes.
Gotcha.
That's the hair on fire people. They're over there in the dumpster. Go down the street in the water, and it's literally on fire.
And they all follow each other fly by night. That's right. And they all echo each other's everything, guys. That's why I was on X saying, come on, guys, don't be afraid of these people anymore.
Yeah, they are afraid of them. Everybody out there is afraid of them. They're afraid that they're going to get seen and then they're going to get blocked. General Flynn is on a blocking rampage because of the amount of ratio that he's actually getting. A matter of fact, I'd like to thank all of you guys out there, because I'm seeing the way that you are ratioing Flynn and the way that you are ratioing Ivan Ranklin. Thank you very much for speaking up, since these people seem to have an issue with what we say about it.
It's great. So this is a quick video I did on the day of the attack, Shady Group. Check it out. Q-Post 4740. We have completed our very successful attack on 3 nuclear sites in Iran. This is from the Q-Post, guys. This video. It's a B-2 bomber. 509th Air Wing, guys. Dropping the MCP 422. Or MOP 422, excuse me. 423. I can't remember. But it's dropping the MOPs. The very same ones. The booms. It's dropping the booms. Okay? And this is a video that they put out. The 509 group. Fordo is gone. Wow, guys. And then the president was to address the nation at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wow.
What a weekend.
What a weekend. Wow. The slow news day, Shady.
Slow news day. I mean, I'm telling you, if you wanted to talk about the quickening, if you wanted to talk about the Great Awakening, not the reawaken, but the Great Awakening, then we're here to discuss that. We're here to discuss a future that does not include a fake threat. Okay? Life is bad enough. Life is hard enough. Life is threatening enough. Life is challenging enough already. We don't need people out there that are throwing an obstacle course in front of us whenever we're navigating. We don't need a whole group of ex-military out there interjecting lies into our conversation so that we have to figure it out and navigate it. And then you got half the populations or 3/4 saying, oh, well, this person just said that and he's so credible. Go back over there to Alex Jones and type in the word nuke. Type in the word nuke to Alex Jones' feed on Twitter and look at how much he talks about how Iran has a nuke. Donald Trump says Iran does not have a nuke. Excuse me, that they're trying to build one. So they're trying to build a nuke means that they do not have a nuke. So whenever you're posting about the threat of Iran using a nuclear weapon that they don't have, that is a lie. When General Flynn is doing that, that is a lie. These people are liars. They're professional liars, and we've proven it over.
Yeah, and I'd like to, remind you that, we follow President Trump. This is a Trump movement, period.
Yes.
The end. Okay.
Right.
So, great interview last night by Congressman August Pfluger by Trey Gowdy. Very interesting and insightful. This sounds like that, our president loves this Raisin Cane guy, Shady Groove.
I'm liking him more and more every day. After today, I like him like 10x.
Here's the interview. Trump wants you to watch this, guys.
Welcome back to Sunday Night in America. It has been said war cannot be waged by air alone. Is that still true? Let's ask a former fighter pilot who represents Texas in Congress, August Pfluger. Welcome, Congressman. And first of all, thank you for your service to our country. Take us inside a cockpit. What are these bombing missions like?
Well, Trey, thanks for having me. A huge shout out to our forces, to our airmen, to Secretary Hegseth, General Raisin Cane for the professionalism that they displayed. These missions are incredibly difficult to fly, and with the precision that you saw last night. 125 aircraft, minimal communications, joining up at a point in the sky, and then carrying out a mission over hostile territory. I've been there. I've been in combat situations. I know many of these airmen that actually flew these missions last night, especially the F-22 pilots like I flew. But you're facing a variety of unknowns. Timing, just think about you and your wife trying to meet up in Paris at a restaurant. 7:30 reservations, plus or minus a minute. Don't be early, don't be late. But you have 125 other guests that also have that same thing without cell phones. So the difficulty starts with just getting to the right place at the right time, and then you have to carry out the mission. So proud of what the B-2 was able to do to truly devastate Iran's nuclear capability. The F-22 and the other aircraft sweeping the area to make sure that there were no enemy fighters, that there were no surface-to-air threats. And when you think about this, the technology that we have is second to none. We, as Congress, funded the military decades ago to get to this point, to offer the president the opportunity and the option to be able to use these weapon systems to degrade their nuclear capability. So the biggest shout out tonight goes to President Trump. He has raised the stock of our deterrent level across the world by an order of magnitude of 10x, 50x. It's just incredible what he was able to do to use these weapon systems to do something that had to be a tremendously hard call for him to make, but then to see the success rate and to use air power. And I can't speak enough about air power, that the deterrence of the United States of America has rested on air power for many decades. And once again, we see that not a single shot was fired at these airplanes. And we brought everybody back home. But we need to continue to invest in air power. And I hope that maybe in this reconciliation package, we can double the funding that the Air Force and the Space Force need to continue to make these investments, to have deterrence for what the fight looks like tomorrow, and who knows what that is.
Congressman, you mentioned the bravery of our soldiers. It also leads me to conclude, if Iran is going to retaliate, where it would hurt us the most, it might be against our men and women in uniform, particularly on that side of the world. What would you be looking for in terms of a response or retaliation, or is Iran so degraded it can't fight back?
Well, there certainly is indicators and warnings that they will have some sort of retaliation, and I think everyone in the region is on high alert. And I trust Secretary Hegseth, the President of the United States. His number one mission is to keep them safe. So they're going to follow the procedures. They are going to make sure that they stay safe. But I think we've degraded Iran. And what I hope is that whatever their retaliation is, that we meet that with full force. And the president has levied a warning to them about what that could look like.
All right, Congressman, you gave us kind of a glimpse of what the cockpit is like. Meeting a spouse for dinner, you lost me at that one. I couldn't even do that. But while you're also dodging things that may be coming in, what are you on the lookout for as a fighter pilot? What can do you harm?
Well, as an F-22 pilot, I mean, the number one thing that we were designed for was to protect the B-2, protect the strike package, protect those that were going to be dropping the weapons. against the enemy. In this case, the B-2 dropping those penetrating weapons against those nuclear facilities. So we were on the lookout to make sure that no enemy fighters were going to try to shoot them down. We were on the lookout to alert those bombers that if there's a surface threat, that they can evade one direction or the other. So our job was to always place ourselves in between the bombers and the threat that was trying to get to those bombers.
Well, Congressman, thank you once again. I know you serve the country currently, but thank you especially for your service in a previous life and for joining us on a really important Sunday night.
Wow.
Trey, thank you so much.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
And so President Trump, let me just show you Shady Grove. I mean, I see a lot of people. President Trump wanted you to watch that great interview last night of Congressman August Pfluger by Trey Gowdy. Very interesting and insightful. I found it also very interesting and insightful.
Yeah, well, the one thing that I'd like to mention that maybe a lot of people probably don't understand about what we just witnessed there is how the military-industrial complex works. The military-industrial complex works in tandem with the intelligence agency, and the military-industrial complex would never dream of utilizing the things that it builds to take out the systems that it needs to build the systems against. Do you understand this? It's much like you're not going to go into a hospital and them cure you of cancer or anything else for that matter, because their job is not to cure you of anything. Their job is to perpetuate the problem and maybe stabilize the patient. That's exactly what the modus operandi of your intelligence network and your military has been for the last 50 plus years. What you're just now seeing is something very, very different. What Trump just did is he utilized the weapon systems, he utilized our capabilities, and he eliminated the threat, okay? It's much better for business if you keep the threat alive and you build the things that can eliminate the threat so that the people of the country know that if you ever wanted to eliminate the threat, you could, but you never really take the step to eliminate the threat. Why is that? Incompetence. What are you seeing today? The word of the day, competence. Again, for the first time in your natural born life.
Amen. So, Shady Grove, real quick. Rumble Premium is amazing, guys. You got to get it. Sponsorship is from Rumble, one that is incredibly important to the survival of the company and this show. When Rumble first started in 2013, they built the platform for the small creator. They didn't censor or have biases, and they treated everybody fair and equally. No one thought platforms would ever censor political opinion, but they did, right, Facebook? And Facebook admitted that you fell to the pressure from the Biden-Harris administration. Rumble did not. They held the line. They're attacked daily for giving the MG show a voice to talk to you. They are attacked in corporate media and governments like France. And they're attacked from brand advertisers who refuse to work with them. Corporate America is fighting to remove free speech. Rumble is fighting to keep it. Rumble won't survive with brand advertisers. They don't get much of it. Neither will we. Watching our show, the MG show, right here on Rumble is the most that we can ask from you. And Rumble, they can ask that from you too. They love when you watch, guys. And one major way that you can help Rumble survive is by joining Premium. Join that community that believes in the First Amendment and believes in our human right to free speech. Rumble is offering $10 off right now with promo code STUDIO when you purchase an annual subscription. Go to rumble.com/premium and use that code STUDIO. Like I said, if you have the means and believe in the cause, now's the time to join Rumble Premium. If you don't have the means, we're just happy that you watch the MG show right here on Rumble. Thank you very much. Shady, I tell you, beautifully said, eloquently said, we got to get through some of these things because, Rumble does, throw us a couple bones here and there, but we're really funded by you guys, and we appreciate you guys so much. Shady, what a show. We're at the end of our rope.
Thank you so much. And thank you for the people out there that if you do not know, we are participating in the Rumble Premium program here on the MG Show on Fridays. Our second hour on Fridays are dedicated to a more in-depth look at the conspiracy, or was it a conspiracy, of the pesos and the Federal Reserve that actually got us here. So if you were to become a Rumble Premium member now or anytime in the near future or later future, you will be able to go back and watch that content that we have done behind a Rumble Premium paywall on every Friday. We're doing 5 hours a month. I'd like to thank everybody that joined us last Friday. I see the numbers are increasing, and we did a couple of polls during the show on Friday and found that a lot of people are really loving the idea. We're letting go of the fire hose of a news cycle for a second and digging deeper into the more in-depth nature of the control system.
Sandy Star White says, God bless the MG show, XXXs and O's. There's a lot of hugs and kisses. Thank you so much. Jules Patriot says, Alex is attacking Q yesterday. Wow, why does he, if Q is so fake, why are you talking about it so much? Because you are scared, Alex. We love you.
Can't get it out of his mouth.
Oh, he loves it, Shady Groove. Loves it. All right, Shady Groove, we're going to go out with 1979 vibes. You ready?
I'm ready. So much love to each and every one of you. Hang on to your hats. We will be back tomorrow to report more idiots being idiots.
Idiocy. But we got competence. See you guys.
Oh.
Ooh, you got a real nice beard, a real nice beard. You know it really caught my Ayatollah. But you know your mind is weird, your mind is weird. You really are a nutty kind of guy, Ayatollah. Come on, give us back all the people at the embassy. The Shah's in New York and he's taking chemotherapy. He's already gonna die, Ayatollah. Ayatollah. When you get the Shah back home, we know you're gonna eat him on Ayatollah. But we kinda need your oil to make our gas. You know you're such a pain in the Ayatollah. Come on, cool your jets, meditate, eat a hamburger. Don't get us too upset or we'll do something nuclear. Bye, Ayatollah. Iran. Ayatollah. Americans are mostly cool, but now we're really starting to fry, Ayatollah. And you know, if you were here, we'd hit you in the face with a pie, Ayatollah. I mean, nothing personal, man, you know. I mean, I do like your sandals. Very sharp, dude. And that robe? Yes. You desert dudes are also tanned. Can I see your tan lines? Oh, and one other thing. Mike Wallace, you know, on 60 Minutes when you did the thing, is he as tall in real life as he looks on TV? I thought not. Hey, hasta Luigi, dude sickle, but remember, calm down. There's more of us than there are of you. Ciao.
www.mg.show. Boom.